Hello, this is Lauren Anderson, contributor to Great Black Speakers, and today I'm speaking with Ezekiel Walker, who is a activist, speaker, and an author. Ezekiel, welcome.
Thanks for having me. This is cool. I appreciate it. Thanks.
Absolutely, absolutely. So, I'd like for you to introduce yourself, tell us who you are and what you do.
Sure. My name is Ezekiel Walker. I go by Zeke, but I've published a few books since 2010, all about African American, not been, somewhat polarizing and controversial. I like to kind of stir the pot when I write, and that's kind of my nature in general. So I've done a lot of speaking engagements and writing workshops and activism as well. So I found that that's been the most natural way for me to express my activism is through writing. So I published my last book, Black as I Want to Be, last November, a few months ago now, and yeah, that's pretty good synopsis right now of where I'm at.
Awesome. So tell us about how you became interested in writing, particularly for an African American audience or on African American issues.
Yeah, well, for me, I was never a really big writer. I never wrote much in high school, college, or any other that, in grade school. It was really a class I took and when I was at Winston-Salem State University that got me really interested in writing. It was a class about hip hop as an American language. I believe that was the name of the class, and the professor was the first black professor that I had, black male that I could relate to. He was like 30, 34, 33 years old. And he was really, he was kind of inspirational to have a younger, hip, cool, just a cool guy that you can actually relate to that's actually teaching you things about yourself, about people. He talked like you. He listened to the same music we listen to. So he made me want he made me want to learn more about our culture and about ourselves. He made it cool to be black for me. So before, it was cool before, but I didn't really understand why it was cool. I just kind of, clung on to what was kind of trendy at the time. And, he kind of like helped me to see that, that I can actually be, who I am and appreciate my culture, our history, teaching us things that were beyond, what we learned on the surface level. So it was a really cool experience that, the approach of his classroom style of teaching and just the amount of attention that he gave the students in his class was something that I'd never experienced before. So it made me want to not necessarily emulate him, but it made me want to further my education of, kind of prolong that class. And I've kind of been like prolonging that, what he taught me the whole time, since I've been out. So that was a really big, inspiration for writing.
Awesome, awesome.
Yeah.
I just paused the recording because I could see you clearly before, but now it's kind of like computerized, like your
Oh,
face.
is it?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm so sorry. I don't.
Is there another area that you can go to? Or maybe sit the phone down so that it can like
I'm gonna go exactly where the modem is.
okay.
I'm gonna stand right. I'm gonna grab beside the modem.
Okay.
I'm hoping that works. Uh, is this any better at all, or in this area?
Yeah, it looks better.
Okay, cool.
Yep.
Let me plug up real quick. All right, I'm ready whenever you are.
Okay. Let me make sure my connection is good. Yeah, that's much better. Much
Okay,
better.
cool.
Okay, so we'll start again. Let's see. We're talking about your professor, right?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Yeah, I totally understand where you're coming from with the professor. I think there's something to be said about minority professors in higher education because I know when I was in school, I was really motivated by, the professors that looked like me, some women, some black women, and things like that. So very cool. But tell me about Black as I Want to Be. Why did you name it that? What is it about? and what can people learn from it?
Yeah, it was really birthed out of the night of the Ferguson protest. The very first initial night of it. It was November 24th, 2014. I released the book, 1 year later on November 24th, 2015, just to kind of commemorate the 1 year anniversary of just what that moment represented. The book, it was really, honestly, it was a very angry, just a very angry response to what we've been seeing on the news for so long, and what we've been fed and force fed over, just over centuries of, just kind of us as a people dealing with things that we shouldn't have to deal with. And I felt like, with the talent that I have of writing, I feel like I had to kind of write with a lightning rod with this book because, the first two, all three have been different, but, I felt like this was a point where, I felt like I felt comfortable enough to express myself, and also I feel comfortable enough that my audience would also understand my message completely, off the top they would get, because it's been so ubiquitous, police brutality and institutionalized racism, it's been more so apparent now in the last 4, 5, 6, well, since Obama's been in office. I feel like a lot of people just understand it immediately. They don't, the first couple of books I had, I had to kind of sell people like why they were important. But this last, with Black as I Want to Be, people see it on TV every day now. They have a family member that's, incarcerated for no reason, or they themselves have been pulled over just for driving while black, or, they've been, discriminated against, as far as housing or mortgages or whatnot, so we all have experiences that we can relate to. And the book is really more so a representation of, it was my personal experience going through it. And, it's a lot about, activism and protests, and I reference Black Panthers a lot in it. Stokely Carmichael is a huge influence of mine. It's really a very modern interpretation of of an age-old problem. That's how I would define it.
Very interesting. So you mentioned the Black Panther Party, and of course, due to recent events with the Super Bowl and the whole Beyonce craze, what kind of message did you get from that symbolism with those dancers dressed as Black Panthers?
Yeah, I think for one, I mean, we're just cool. Like, Black people are just really cool. Like that was some cool stuff. Because I didn't even notice it when it happened. Like, it was just, I guess, because I'm just in that world already, so it just looked cool. It just looked normal to me. But that was like really cool to see. I just embraced first. That was my initial like visceral reaction. It was a cool show. Like her part, especially in the dances. But I think entertainers such as herself and people like that, they have, that responsibility to, speak up, even without saying a word. She didn't say anything, but just by her using her natural born talent and her creativity and the people around her, she said all she needed to say. So I mean, I think that that's something I try to urge people to do too. You don't have to, as far as activism, you don't have to be out there, with a sign, saying Black Lives Matter, Black Lives Matter. You can use whatever you're already good at and just put your message out there yourself. So it's not about sticking to a certain type of rubric or a certain type of plan or a certain type of blueprint that's already been done. We can be as innovative and as creative as we want to be, and I think that's what he did.
I'm so glad that you said that because I think that can be inspiring to someone, that views this video, just knowing that what you said, you don't have to create signs, you don't have to be at a march to make a difference. And oftentimes it can be, where you are with what you do and how you can make a difference. And you can show that in your behavior, in your conversation, and you don't necessarily have to be on the front lines because there are people there, but we need people other places as well, right? So you're considered to be an unfiltered and revolutionary speaker. Tell me how you acquired those labels.
I think the easiest answer, I think, is just based on the music that I listen to. I think that's a huge part of like my writing itself. Like for instance, the first book I wrote, I listened to I've always listened to hip hop, but I listened to a lot of trap music then. So you kind of get a in trap music there's no in between. Everything is either all in or it's all nothing. So
Yeah.
so that was kind of the theme of the first book. Then the second one, I listened to Watch the Throne a lot. So I had like a prestigious black feeling to myself. Like I was just wanted to feel prestigious in it, and I wanted us to be higher up as people, and that's kind of what that album and the book somewhat represented as well. Just a feeling that we could do more. And then this last one, I listened to a lot of Gil Scott Heron, a lot of just black revolutionaries, Nina Simone, just a lot of people, a lot of old school with this last album. Well, Kendrick Lamar's, Pepper Butterfly. So I mean, it was. I think a lot of the music that I've listened to has shaped the mood that I write in and the mood that I speak in, and I do that intentionally. It's not, I need somebody to persuade me to think a certain way. I'm already thinking that way, but I just like to kind of surround myself in that environment and in that kind of zone. And also, I think it may be hereditary too. My mother, she once, was involved with the Black Panther Party too, so it may have something to do with the bloodline as well. So, it's
Wow,
just,
that's really interesting.
yeah,
That you have a method to your writing. I haven't heard that that authors are inspired by music, but that's great, right? All the arts coming together to produce
yeah.
greatness.
Yeah, I don't think I could write a book if I wasn't listening to music. Like every book I've published so far, I've been listening to all kinds of music on it. So I can't. It's something about that's my zone. I like to have it in the background playing while I'm typing away. I can go for hours on hours a day if I have the right album or the right kind of music on. So
Very cool. So tell me, what type of changes do you think are necessary to overcome institutional controls or police brutality? The topics that you speak to often and that you write about.
I think the changes that are, and then someone asked me the question a few weeks ago when I was at Cornell. Uh, the changes are going to have to come from someone that's other than me and you, or people that look like you and I. Because I think what we've seen over the years is that, or decades, is that our gripes are so legitimate and they're so, you know, obvious. They're so, the crimes against us are so obvious. Like even a couple years ago, if we look at Eric Garner, somebody that's choked out on camera, from beginning to end, to death. I mean, like things like that happen to us all the time, and we have uproars and outcries and things like that. But eventually, either the family will get a little bit of money, or they won't get anything, or the story just eventually goes away. I think that in order for things to actually change, it's going to have to change from the people that actually make the decisions. It's not going to come from a protest. It's not going to come directly from I'll say even a book. It's not going to come from a movie. It's going to have to come from the people that actually implemented those policies in the first place. So they're going to have to be the ones that come back and change it and alter it and modify it. It's not going to come from just our grievances now. I would hope that it would have happened already. I'm not sure what strategic political strategy is going to have to be implemented, whether it be revolutionary or not, but that's where the change is going to have to come from. And it's something I struggle with a lot, because I want to see that change. We all want to see it. We all know it needs to happen. We all know it should have happened by now. And if it was up to us, it would have happened a long time ago. But again, it's not up to us. It's up to the powers that actually created those policies, those racist institutions, and the people that work for them now. And it's going to take a lot for them to change their perceptions. It's going to take a lot for them to change their ways, because they benefited from it for so long now that they've become comfortable. They have generations of people that have, benefited from this class of, this country of classism that's built on racism. So it's going to take, a lot. I think good things are happening, like you said, with Beyonce, protests, or however people choose to let their discontent be known. I think that's good because it raises the pressure. It makes people more aware. I think awareness is a great thing. I'll never knock anybody that does protest. I'll never knock that. I mean, I've done it before myself too, but I don't think it's the most effective way. But I'm not going to knock it at the same time. I mean, you have at least people are doing something.
Right.
I'm not going to disparage anybody for that, but I think it's just important for us all to do what we do, because whether it's me writing a book or somebody producing a short film, whether it's somebody carrying a sign, somebody going to a school board meeting and protesting or talking about what they're studying in school isn't really Black history or whatnot. I think that it all kind of works together in this revolutionary stew, if you will. And I think it all is going to boil over to the point where they can't ignore it anymore, and it's gonna have to change.
Yeah, and I would certainly agree with your points, and add that it's also the African American community. You know, the student going to law school to be a lawyer, you know, to become a judge, to be a politician. All these different areas where those changes can take place. You know, another way of voicing or caring about your community is to do something about it and to become that change maker, right? So that we're not always saying to ourselves generations from now that, you know, Congress or politicians, you know, and they're not people that look like us that we don't identify with.
Hmm.
So if they are people that begin to look like us and have the same ideology or beliefs that our community does, then we can really affect change. You know what I mean?
Definitely.
Because they are the change maker. So
Yeah.
you definitely have hit on some great points. Tell me about your speaking engagements. Where have you spoke before, or who is your audience really that you're talking to?
Uh, a majority of my audiences have been colleges. Some of them have been, a lot of HBCUs. I'm in North Carolina, so it's,
Okay.
it's HBCU on every corner almost in North Carolina. So, which is a good thing. It's a blessing. I love it. So that's been typically the places that I speak at. It's been the most, kind of comfortable setting because, like I said before, with that inspiration that the guy gave me from that class, I've kind of, used it every day. I still use it now. So I still feel young at heart, even though I'm 30, and I can't really, I'm not young
Hey,
like
that's
that.
still young. What are you talking about?
compared to compared to them, you think? I mean, I feel like it's young too, but I would, a lot of these kids they do a lot of things. So, but yeah, I'll leave that alone. But yeah, that's primarily. I've done a lot of libraries, bookstores, film festivals. Because I made a documentary for the second film. I mean, the second book that I made. So I'm able to kind of use that. I actually have one coming up this Thursday in Durham at the Haiti Heritage Center. So it's been cool. Like I said, I'm pretty much able to as long as I see our people there, as long because I feel like I'm connecting with us, and we can build together, we can grow together. I feel like there's opportunity for all of us to kind of experience and have this shared experience and learn from one another, teach one another, and just build.
That's awesome. And what kind of reaction do you usually get from the audience when you step off the stage or you're done with your presentation? What are they saying to you?
Uh, I would say most of the time people are more understanding than they were when they came in. Because I'm able to elocute myself, and I'm able to express certain sentiments, and like I said with the documentary, I'm able to actually show you certain things that I'm talking about. So some people are kind of skeptical if you just say something; they have to see it actually. So a lot of times I like to show people what a problem is, why it's a problem, and what we can do to overcome it. So most of the time it's been pretty good. It's been a positive reception. Yeah.
That's great news. Well, I am glad that I've had the privilege to speak with you today and that you're part of Great Black Speakers.
Oh yeah.
And we anticipate getting you out to even more audiences to share that information. So tell us where we can find you on social media. Where can we buy your book? Give me all your contact information.
Oh, cool, cool. So the social media is Book Don't Lie. So kind of like Ball Don't Lie, like whenever you shoot basketball, but it's called Book Don't Lie. So that's Twitter and Instagram for that, and the website is zekewrites.com. That's Zeke. So zekewrites.com. You can find all the books. The documentary is up right now for free on the website, so you can check it out if you're interested in the Medea Factory documentary. And that's where I have all my contact information, the tour dates and things like that. So yeah.
Excellent, excellent. It has been a pleasure. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
And I just want to say thanks to Great Black Speakers. It's a great site. It's a great, network. It's a great everything that you guys are doing. I really appreciate it. I'm pretty sure other people that are with you guys do as well. It's a great thing that you're doing for, our people, our community. So we need that.
Thank you, thank you. It's been wonderful chatting with you.
You as well.
And we look forward to more conversation and to getting you out to a larger audience to spread this uncut, unfiltered, revolutionary conversation.
I like how you said that. Thank you. I appreciate
All
that.
right. Thank you, Ezekiel. Have a great day.
Okay, you too.